Let's be real for a second. If you're anything like me, you probably rely on your mobile banking app every single day. But it turns out we might be completely missing a massive layer of financial security that's sitting right there in our pockets. So today in this explainer, we're diving into exactly how to set up account alerts for absolutely every transaction. By making just a few, honestly really simple tweaks, you can completely lock down your accounts against fraud and put an end to those annoying surprise banking fees. It's incredibly empowering, and trust me, it's way easier than you might think. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the $12.5 billion problem, choose your essential alerts, walk through the step-by-step setup, reveal a brilliant every transaction hack, troubleshoot missing alerts, and finally, talk about managing those alerts effectively so they actually help you.
Section 1. The $12.5 billion problem.
Now, changing a few notification settings on your phone might seem kind of trivial, right? But you've got to look at the staggering statistic from the Federal Trade Commission. In 2024 alone, consumers lost an estimated $12.5 billion to fraud. $12.5 billion. That's a 30% jump from the previous year. The reality is, fraudsters are just getting faster, smarter, and incredibly automated.
So, that begs the question, how do we actually stop this fraud before it starts? Well, manual monitoring, waiting for a monthly paper statement or just randomly logging in every few weeks when you remember, that just doesn't cut it anymore. Real-time mobile banking alerts are literally the ultimate proactive solution here because they give you the critical advantage of time. The faster you spot unauthorized activity, the significantly greater your chances are of getting fully reimbursed by your bank. But hey, this isn't just about hackers and scammers. Alerts also save you from the ultimate everyday annoyance, surprise bank fees. According to Bankrate, the average overdraft fee is nearly $27. By setting up a really simple low balance alert, you can stop those fees cold and make much smarter, real-time budgeting decisions.
Moving on to Section 2. Choosing your essential alerts.
When digging into this, I found that these right here are the absolute must-have alerts. First, low balance warnings keep your daily budgeting on track. Unusual activity and large purchase alerts will immediately flag suspicious behavior, like if your card is suddenly being swiped overseas while you're sitting on your couch. Direct deposit alerts are awesome just because they let you know exactly when your paycheck clears. But I really want you to pay special attention to that middle one, profile changes. You see, fraudsters will often try to change your email or phone number first, so you won't actually receive the alerts when they drain the account. Getting notified about profile changes is your absolute tripwire. Do not skip that one.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this all matters. Mark Hamrick over at Bankrate sums this up perfectly. He says, account alerts are one of the simplest, most powerful tools consumers can use to stay ahead of fraud. Real-time notifications give you a chance to act fast. It's literally all about buying yourself the time to act before a tiny issue blows up into a massive headache.
All right, Section 3. Step-by-step alert setup. The truly great news here is that whether you're Team Chase, Bank of America, US Bank, or Capital One, the setup process is remarkably similar across the board. You literally just log in your mobile app and tap the settings gear or your profile icon. Next, hunt down the alerts or notifications menu. From there, you just choose the essential alerts we just talked about and customize your dollar thresholds. Then select exactly how you want to receive them, whether that's a push notification, a text, or an email. Finally, and this is key, always make sure to hit save. It really is that universal and beginner-friendly.
Which brings us to Section 4. The every transaction hack.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific dollar amounts. When you set up a transaction alert, banks always require a minimum dollar threshold. Interestingly enough, Chase and Capital One actually allow you to set that threshold to literally $0. On the other hand, banks like Wells Fargo and US Bank require a minimum of 1 penny.
So the crucial takeaway here, the absolute game changer, is that you should set your alert limit to the absolute lowest minimum threshold allowed by your bank, either $0 or 1 penny. Why? Well, because fraudsters will frequently test a stolen card by running a $0 or 1 cent authorization hold, just to see if the account is active before they go for the big bucks. If your alert is set to $50, you will never see that test charge happen. But by setting it to 0 or 1 penny, your phone is going to buzz the very second anyone, anywhere, interacts with your card.
Let's move to Section 5. Troubleshooting missing alerts.
Okay. So what if you set all this up and your phone just stays completely silent, no alerts? The culprit is usually something called a short code. This is basically just the 5 or 6-digit phone number banks use to text you.
because these are automated cellular carriers like T-Mobile or AT&T will sometimes aggressively block them as spam by default. So if your bank texts aren't coming through, you might just need to quickly call your cell provider and ask them to remove the short code block on your line. Also, a quick heads up, if you recently switched carriers but kept your same phone number, that porting process frequently disables short codes for security reasons, so you'll probably have to re-verify your number right there in the banking app.
And here's a weird little quirk I discovered specifically with app-based push notifications. If they suddenly stop working, which actually happens a lot with apps like Chase, especially when you get a replacement card, the app and the bank's servers are essentially just out of sync. A super quick fix for this? Go into Manage Alerts, turn on Push, SMS, and Email all at the exact same time, and hit Save. This forces a fresh update on their servers. Then go right back in, turn off the delivery methods you don't want, and save again. It instantly resets the connection.
Finally, Section 6. Managing alerts effectively.
Look, to prevent notification fatigue, because nobody wants their phone buzzing 100 times a day, you need to route your alerts strategically. You should absolutely rely on push notifications directly from the banking app for your urgent real-time events. We're talking that every transaction alert, low balance warnings, or suspected fraud. Basically, your lock screen should only light up when it is genuinely important. Conversely, route the non-urgent stuff, like your monthly statement being ready or an automatic bill pay confirmation, straight to your email inbox. This keeps your phone quiet while still maintaining a perfect, searchable paper trail.
Before we wrap up, we absolutely have to talk about smishing, which is SMS phishing. Fraudsters know that you trust your bank alerts, so they will send incredibly convincing fake texts that look exactly like the real deal. So please remember this. Your bank will never, ever ask for your password, your PIN, or your social security number via text message. Scam texts almost always try to create a false sense of panic, saying stuff like your account will be permanently locked if you don't click a link immediately. Never click those links. If you get a scary-looking alert, just completely ignore the text, pull out your physical debit card, and directly dial the customer service number printed right there on the back of the card.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought today. If fraudsters are out there automating their attacks 24/7, shouldn't your defenses be automated too? Setting up these alerts literally takes just 5 minutes, but it provides round-the-clock peace of mind. So take control of your financial security today. Grab your phone, log into your banking app, and set that minimum threshold to 0. I'd really love to hear how the setup goes for you, so please share your experiences down in the comments.
And as always, a quick professional reminder before we go. While these tools are universally helpful, please be sure to consult your financial advisor or your specific institution for personalized advice to ensure these settings perfectly fit your own unique financial needs and circumstances. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe out there and keep learning.